we're a church that reads the Bible. But just because we read the Bible doesn't mean we really get it. And just because we read the Bible doesn't mean we always believe, comprehend, or understand what it's saying. We all have, or at least I have, some questions. So take it back to the basics with me. We've got 2 testaments in one book, the Old and the New. Now, the God of the Old Testament, he seems pretty powerful to me, as he's like smiting whole nations off of the earth and appearing in a burning bush in the words of the prophets, and even goes so far as to flood the whole earth and then part the Red Sea. The God of the Old Testament was pretty OG. But flip a couple chapters next, and we've got the New Testament, where that same God appears in flesh. He's challenging, but he's also gentle, and he fights for the underdog. This Jesus, now he was the original activist. Not so much burning bush anymore, and a little bit more burning man. If I'm honest, when I look to the Old Testament and then to the New, sometimes it can feel like I'm worshiping 2 different gods, or at least one very spasmodic one. You see, that makes me wonder about the God of today. We don't really have a burning bush God, nor do we have a physical Jesus walking around. So is the God of the Old Testament the same as the God of the New Testament, the same as the God of today? Like, God forgave in the Bible, but does he still forgive? God restored whole nations and relationships in the Bible, but can he deal with the mess that is 2017? Does God still heal? And does God still deliver? These doubts and these questions, they might make you uncomfortable, and that's okay. I hope that you can feel safe asking these questions with me. You see, for the next 4 weeks at One Church, we'll be bringing these questions to each other and to God. I have expectant hope that together we might recognize the flip-flopping of our own character and the consistency of God's, and maybe a little bit more. You see, in the Old Testament and the New, we're told that God is a forgiver. In fact, Yahweh is forgiver. Now, it's one thing to believe something and another thing to want it. I teach kids, and I teach them that if they want to be healthy, they need to eat lots of vegetables and healthy food. But 20 minutes later, I'm taking a swig of Speedway Slurpee to wash down my little Debbie because I actually want junk food all the time. I can believe and even know that God is much a forgiver today as he was in the Old and New Testaments. But when I see things like a church who ignores or even contributes to a system that hurts my friends, I'd rather see an Old Testament style smiting than recognizing that forgiveness means that even the misguided will be my roommates in heaven. You see, I believe that God is a forgiver. But if I'm honest, I think that I'd rather he just forgive sinners who are just like me. And so, does God still forgive today? No, you're good. How are you guys? Good. How was the dinner? Good. Yes. What's up? Good. I'm glad.